What's good, y'all? Marion Gates, also known as Phenomenon. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, like, and if you really enjoy my content, share it.
Fact. Michael Jordan went to the playoffs 3 times without me. Was 1-9, not in series, but in playoff games, before I walked through that door.
Michael Jordan, before he got Scottie Pippen, never won a playoff series. Got swept by the Big Three in Boston. You keep talking about how great he was, but how great was he without Scottie Pippen? Just a guy that put up a lot of stats. He was probably Russell Westbrook before Russell was, because that's all he did was accumulate stats.
All right, so I've been wanting to do this video, and I'm going to go ahead and clear up a few things. Scottie Pippen is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. Jordan himself has said Scottie Pippen is his best teammate. Jordan himself has said Scottie Pippen, when he did his all-time top 5, Scottie Pippen, he put Scottie Pippen above every small forward. So we got to understand how great Scottie Pippen was. This is not a diss to Scottie Pippen's greatness, but it's time to put things into its proper perspective. Narrative versus reality. The reality is Jordan was a superstar before Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen did not make Jordan. What Scottie Pippen did was took Jordan from being a great individual player, being the greatest individual player we've ever seen, to being a legend as far as team winning. The championships matter, and you need great players. There's not a player in NBA history, not one player in NBA history that has not had the luxury of playing with other great players. Not Bill Russell, not Kareem and Magic, not Shaq, not Kobe, not LeBron. So you're not saying anything to say that, oh, Jordan was 1-9 before Pippen. Jordan didn't win anything without Pippen. And LeBron didn't win anything without Dwayne Wade. Getting to the finals and getting swept. Getting to the finals in a weaker conference and then getting swept, not nan game off of them, is not more impressive than a guy who faced tougher competition in the first round from a morbid franchise. In a conference that was top heavy as bleep, as LeBron would say. And then finally getting some help. And now all of a sudden we want to laugh at him. Ain't y'all the same people? This is what bugs me. This is what blows my mind. You guys sit here and cry. Oh, LeBron, he doesn't have enough help. Peak LeBron. Oh, he doesn't have enough help. It doesn't matter at what point in his career it was. He always never had enough help. Dude has the best record in the East. He carrying bombs according to y'all and plumbers. Yet this dude gets 2 superstars and still loses to Dirk Nowitzki and an old Mavericks team, the second oldest team in NBA history. You same people that sit there and criticize and say, LeBron only beat the Pistons when they got old. LeBron lost to the second oldest team in NBA in the finals history. He lost to an old team. So you rather knock somebody who didn't, and that Pistons team has been debunked so many times. We're not old. They were the same age dang near as the Bulls. They were not some old, decrepit team. They went to 3 straight finals. They were not old and aging and out. The Chicago Bulls won the championship as the oldest team to win a championship in NBA history. The oldest team. No one sat there and cried like, this team is old. So the age argument is ridiculous and it's pointless. I'm debunking Nick Wright right now. Nick Wright will not stand a chance against me in a debate because his arguments are stupid. And when you apply the same logic to LeBron, when you make that same art, this is why the other video, a lot of people enjoyed it because they understand. When you apply the same logic, when you use the same criteria across the board, LeBron James loses the argument in the GOAT debate. Point blank, period. Michael Jordan was a superstar the moment he entered the league. His first year as a rookie, he was a superstar. Made the All-Star team. Made the playoffs as a 7th seed. Lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. The East was top-heavy. No one knocks the Lakers for playing in a weaker conference. We still give them props for it, but we understand. Because once they made it to the finals, now the truth will be revealed. It's not that LeBron James, we knocking him for playing in a weaker conference. Yeah, you made it to 8 straight finals, but you stacked the deck so far in your favor, and you still didn't get the job done 6 times. Magic Johnson still has a winning record. And a couple of those finals, he himself was injured. So there's other circumstances. We don't take away the Detroit Pistons for having beating a wounded Lakers team. Yet y'all want to knock Michael Jordan for beating a Pistons team that the year before won the championship, the defending champs, ending their reign. Then he ended the Lakers' reign. The Lakers dynasty and the Pistons dynasty both ended. In 1 year he did this with Scottie Pippen as his running mate. The reason why we look at Scottie Pippen the way that we do is because of the championships. Because he played alongside Michael Jordan. That elevated him. I cannot look at any player that LeBron has played with and be like, oh yeah, he elevated them. I don't see anybody giving Kevin Love all this praise. Even Kyrie, for the longest, they were throwing him under the bus, talking about him for posting on Twitter, for tweeting something that they say was anti-Semitic. That championship made LeBron the greatest player of all time, according to his fanboys. Scottie Pippen got elevated. To this day, they knock Jordan. How dare you play with another all-time great? We don't knock Magic or Kareem. Nick Wright puts Kareem above Jordan and has the audacity to bring up Scottie Pippen when you know Kareem played with Oscar Robertson and Magic Johnson, 2 of the greatest point guards who ever played. Oscar Robertson is arguably the 2nd greatest point guard ever. Now, some people will say Curry. Some people say Isaiah Thomas. There's a couple of other guys that have number 2. But to me, Magic is by far the greatest point guard ever. And not nan time do you sit there and use that as an argument against. Not nan time do you ever put that as an argument against Kareem. You rate Kareem above Michael Jordan. So why are you bringing up 1 and 9 then? Kareem won a championship. He didn't win a championship until he got Oscar Robertson. And Kareem wouldn't be having nowhere near the rings he has without Magic. This is fact. And LeBron wouldn't be having none of the success. He wouldn't have went to 8 straight finals had he stayed in Cleveland. Some people were like, well, the Celtics might have aged out and all this other stuff. Look, he lost to Dwight Howard in the Magic. Let's start with the shenanigans. Like, this dude was just going against the teams of the caliber that Jordan went through. He never had to go through an 86 Celtics team. He never had to go through a team of the caliber of the Bucks. And when he did face that Celtics team with an aging Kevin Garnett, these were old now. These are old, an actual old team. Ray Allen and Paul Pierce. He lost in the 2nd round. Until he got with his homeboys. Now he poking out his chest. Now he front running like a mug. And that team still took him 7 games. The Pacers took him 7 games. An old Spurs team took him 7 games. A team that he was supposed to beat the year prior, that the narrative was, oh my goodness, the only reason why LeBron lost because Kyrie, Kevin Love are injured. That team took him 7 games, had him down 3-1. And yet y'all want to tell me this is the greatest player of all time? That's why that 1-9 argument is stupid. Everybody needs somebody. One man cannot be the team. This is not boxing. This is not an individual sport. So Scottie Pippen being there, is Scottie Pippen important to Jordan's championship run? Yes, Jordan himself would tell you that. He didn't win anything without Scottie Pippen. And that's okay, because every player in NBA history has to say that. Every player in NBA history has to say that. Detroit Pistons didn't have any top 75 players, like I said in a previous video, yet we do not elevate them higher because they beat 4 top 50 players. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 top 50 players on one roster. Ben Wallace and the Detroit Pistons beat that team. Then they went back to the finals again. Do y'all give them extra props for that? Do you give Jason Kidd? Jason Kidd went to back-to-back finals. Do you give him extra props for that? Allen Iverson made it to a final. So what LeBron did in 07 is not exclusive to LeBron James. Like, he's the only player to come out the East and make it to the finals and lose. Dude got swept. Let's stop acting like LeBron put on this hell of a show and went 7. Had he went 7 games with the Spurs, it would be a different story. LeBron, he played terrific, man. He went out there and scored 30 points per game, and he balled out, and he just lost. He was just overwhelmed. No, this dude got locked down, had a terrible field goal percentage. Didn't get not nan game off of him. Then he's 2-1, sitting there clowning Dirk Nowitzki and loses. But you want to bring up 1-9. LeBron James would not have stood a chance. You couldn't even get past a Celtics team that didn't have nowhere near. Not nan top 10 player was on that squad. You didn't face a Larry Bird. Yet you want to sit here and y'all want to sit here and act like LeBron James, who was older, even in his prime. This man has lost 6 finals. Only one was done before his prime. Only one loss of those losses was before his prime. The other ones was in his prime. He lost to teams that were beatable. That Warriors team was taking 7 games by the Rockets. That Warriors team that he beat before then, they were taking 7 games by the Thunder. The hardest team you had was the team the first year they got Kevin Durant. That's the only time they looked unbeatable. And they were still, your fanboys were still talking about how you could beat them and how that would make you the greatest player ever. Did you get it done? Why are y'all talking as if he got it done? Why are y'all talking about it? He got 1 game off that team. Why are y'all speaking? Y'all speak as if LeBron did something that Jordan didn't do. Jordan, what you want to tell me what Jordan? You want me to tell you something about what Jordan did that LeBron hasn't done? Jordan, when he was favored, he never lost. And Jordan beat a team that was better than him. Actually had a deeper bench. That Phoenix Suns team had a far deeper bench than the Chicago Bulls. That was the weakness of the Chicago Bulls. They didn't have a deep bench. They depended on Jordan to have an incredible series, which he did, and he got the job done. I never seen Jordan choke in the playoffs. Never seen Jordan disappear in the finals. Never seen it. It didn't happen. It's not on his resume. It's not on his resume that he was the favorite team and lost. It's not on his resume. Scottie Pippen is great. But let's not act like LeBron James did something that Jordan didn't do. Like he beat a team and didn't have any help. Like he literally took Plumbers to the finals and won. And that Plumbers narrative is done and over with, because if you really were that good that you could take Plumbers to the finals, I've said this before and I will say it again. If you really were that good that you could take Plumbers to the finals, then why, when you got superstars, did you not handily beat these other teams? Because that was a false narrative. You did the same thing that Allen Iverson did. Allen Iverson took the same caliber of players to the finals. Jason Kidd took the same caliber of players to the finals. You just didn't get the job done. You had a Kevin Love with you. You had a supporting cast. You had a bench. Everybody was praising them. You got through the East. You were good enough to get all the way to the final. I never saw when Jordan was good and had a team that was good enough to make it to the finals, and he just failed. Failed miserably. Jordan retiring and coming back, you could look at him and say, well, you know, Jordan didn't perform up to his usual standards that year. But you also got to look at the dude came in when the season was almost over. Everybody else had a major head start over him, and he still did play horrible in that series. He just wasn't Michael Jordan. And everybody knows good and well, had Jordan had stayed in basketball shape, he would have balled out. And I firmly believe he would have beat the Houston Rockets. I firmly believe he could have won 8 straight. Firmly believe. There's no evidence to say that he couldn't not have. We've seen what LeBron James does. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, coulda, shoulda, wouldas about it. You had the squad. You chose your spots. You picked your teams. You put together these rosters, and you lost. Time after time after time after time after time again. So for you guys that love to use that 1-9 argument, let's look at what Scottie Pippen did. He had 7.9 points per game as a rookie. Why do y'all not mention that they also got Horace Grant? It wasn't just Scottie Pippen. They got Horace Grant. They made some roster changes. Same thing when Jordan retired the first time. Here's another quick nugget for you. You know that team also got Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr. They added some different pieces. That wasn't the same roster, the same bench that Jordan left in 93. 94 was a different team. They got some extra players. Y'all always brag about how good Tony Kukoc was. Well, guess what? They didn't just lose. It ain't like they lost Jordan and kept the same roster. And Scottie Pippen took that same exact roster and made it as far as he did. No. They made some changes. That front office did their thing. So, yeah, Scottie, it was impressive. But stop acting like he got the job done, because he didn't. He didn't get the job done either without Jordan. Scottie was not winning nan championship without Jordan. Not one. Scottie was not winning the championship with him a sidekick. Scottie Pippen being the man is not going to win you a championship. You're not building a team around Scottie. As great as Scottie was, you're not building a team around him. James Harden, as great as he is, you're not building a team around him. There are guys that are in the Hall of Fame that you cannot build a team around. Just because you're in the Hall of Fame, top 75 player, doesn't mean we're going to build a whole team around you. Jordan was the centerpiece. Stop with this shenanigans. Stop with these lies. You sound stupid. You sound like you shouldn't be talking sports. You shouldn't be talking basketball. Football, no any sport. Boxing, you don't know sports. Especially team sports. Team sports take great teams. We don't knock players for having great coaches either. Stop with the whole Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson didn't win squat before Jordan. Stop acting like Phil Jackson was Red Auerbach and he came in and said, Jordan, let me show you how to win because I've been there before. No, Phil Jackson didn't win not nan championship in the NBA to Jordan. He built his reputation from the Bulls. That would allow, now once he got to the Lakers, if you want to make that argument for Shaq and Kobe, if you want to make that argument for Kobe, that's a more valuable argument for Kobe, not a viable argument for Jordan. Phil Jackson was a legendary coach by the time he got to the Lakers. He was a 6-time champion. By the time he got to the Lakers, he was a 0-time champion before Jordan. So they built this thing together. Jordan bought into the system. That's just as important. Superstar players, they buy into the system, and that shows great leadership. To be a great leader, you must also be a great follower. This is a testament to Jordan, not a knock. You don't sit there and knock a player for being coachable. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. How, Jordan, you're a weak sauce because you built a legendary coach. You have the coach become legendary. Tim Duncan, how are you the best power forward? You had Greg Popovich. You made a coach legendary. Like, come on, dude. Since when do we do this? This doesn't make any sense. You guys love to give LeBron props for Ty Lue and Eric Spoelstra them. And Eric Spoelstra proved that he could go to the finals without LeBron. He faced LeBron in the finals and got 2 games off of him with a far inferior roster. that was injured. Still got 2 games off of him with a wounded roster. But y'all want to talk about this 1-9 record. His 1-9 record. Like I said, LeBron he missed the playoffs the first 2 years in the league in a weak East. Yet nan time do you hear any of us, not me, you never heard me knock him for that. Because I understand it's growing pains. It's a learning curve. It is a learning curve. It is the journey. Just like me knocking a person, hey man, your business, when you ain't no millionaire already? I heard you started your business this year. No one does this. You guys sound ridiculous. But you're going to knock Jordan for a 1-9 record. As if that's the end of his story. Jordan was 1-9. The end. All he did was put up individual stats. I swear, you guys talk as if Jordan, that was the end of his story. You just want to highlight his failures. Then you have the audacity to say stupid things like, well, he's 6 for 15. Dude. First of all, he didn't play a full 15 seasons. 2 of those seasons, he had an ankle injury and he came back out of retirement at the end of the season. So technically he had 13 seasons. Those Wizard years, those were more of a formality. He didn't join an Anthony Davis or anything like that to make him a playoff contender. He had no guy on his team. He did not have a top 75 player when he came out of retirement. Stop the shenanigans. Stop the nonsense. You guys are so simple-minded. You are the very definition of a simp. You don't make any sense. The stupid things you say. You act as if Jordan was just a regular schmegular player, and Scottie Pippen was like, let me teach you the game of basketball. And then all of a sudden, Jordan's numbers just jumped astronomically. That's not what happened. Jordan had arguably his greatest season the year Scottie Pippen got there, and Scottie Pippen had nothing to do with that. Not a damn thing. He was not responsible for Jordan's Defensive Player of the Year. He was not responsible for Jordan's MVP. He was not responsible. Phil Jackson wasn't even the coach then. So what are you guys talking about? He had a winning record. And Phil Jackson was not his coach. These guys made it to the Eastern Conference Finals without Phil Jackson being his coach. So stop acting like Phil Jackson just came in and no, Phil Jackson inherited a great team, just like Steve Kerr. Yes, we give Steve Kerr as an all-time great coach, but Mark Jackson had already built something there. Steph Curry was a great player before Steve Kerr. He was a great player under Mark Jackson. It's the same concept. When you have players that great players mean as much. Most legendary coaches have legendary rosters, legendary players. Let's stop acting like these guys were winning with just bombs. Like these coaches just can take any team. Like Phil Jackson can just jump on any roster and make them a champion. No. He's got to coach Pantheon greats, top 10 players. Kobe, Shaq, Pippen, Rodman, Jordan. Gasol. Legends. All-time greats. Red Auerbach, Bill Russell, and the list goes on. Like, you have a whole roster, Bob Cousy and all these other guys, Sam Jones, Casey Jones. You have all these guys on your squad. There's not nan coach. Greg Popovich, you got to coach Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, David Robinson, Tony Parker. Stop the nonsense. Players matter just as much, even more, to the coaches, because at the end of the day, it's up to the players to execute. Phil Jackson can't force. He doesn't have to put a controller and be like, I control Jordan like 2K. Why do you guys act like Phil Jackson just sat there with a controller and was controlling the moves that Jordan made? Jordan was a great player far before Phil Jackson got there. Phil Jackson just created a climate. He's a great game manager. He knows how to manage people. He helped balance out that Jordan, just like Scottie helped balance out that Jordan, because Jordan is a drill sergeant. So you need somebody like a Phil Jackson to bring in that. You need a good cop. You have a parent that's a disciplinary. You have a parent that's a little softer. That's how it goes. So Scottie Pippen was important. That's not to say Scottie Pippen. That's like saying we don't sit there and be like, well, James Worthy wasn't that important. We know James Worthy was important. We know Klay Thompson was important. We know Draymond Green is important. But we know who the man on that team is. It's Stephen Curry. It's funny how y'all understand that concept when it comes to LeBron. And don't think because he just running around teams, he didn't just run around to just any roster. He recruits. He has a whole video where he talks about how he recruits players. He recruits the best talent. He is like a college coach. He recruits the best talent on his teams. He didn't just take any squad and win championships. That's why the 1-9 argument is so dumb. Stop acting like LeBron is doing something that Jordan didn't do. He hasn't done anything. You cannot say there are things that Jordan has done that LeBron hasn't. Jordan has built an actual dynasty. LeBron can never say he's done that. Jordan got better every year. LeBron cannot say that he has improved vastly in his deficiencies. He did not become a better jump shooter. He did not become a better post player. He did not become a better off-ball player. All the things that we talked about LeBron needed to work on, he did not improve in those areas vastly. And not only take a weakness and make it into a strength. He never done that. He never took a weakness of his game and turned it into a strength. He's doing the same lower my shoulder into people. He still don't know how to play off the ball. There's a lot of things about LeBron James that you can look at and say he still turns over the ball. But it's the way that the media covers him. Jordan got better. His ball handling, better. He didn't have a mid-range shot. He became arguably the greatest mid-range shooter in NBA history. His post game, his footwork, he was fundamentally sound. You cannot look at LeBron and say he's more fundamentally sound than Michael Jordan. If you say that, you're a bold-faced lie and you never watched Michael Jordan play a day in your life. You watch highlight reels and you listen to ESPN and what they try to tell you. You're just a fanboy. Become a fan of a game. Stop being a fan of just a player. Jordan improved his basketball IQ. His facilitating. He was a great facilitator coming into the league. He became an even better facilitator. He learned how to get his teammates involved. Do you know he only had 1 assist less than Magic Johnson in the finals? That shows you how great, and he was a leading scorer. So that shows you what he could do. And it was double digits. He has 11 assists. Come on now. In a triangle offense. Scottie did not carry Jordan. Not nan championship did he carry. I got to carry Jordan. He had moments. Where Scottie came and showed up. Like the Knicks series. Chicago was down 0-2. This is the one that Nick Wright loved to bring up. And Scottie Pippen balled out. But Jordan did all the dirty work that game. His shot wasn't falling like that, so he did other things. That's the greatness of Jordan. You're not going to have a great game every single time. Not nan player in NBA history can say that. But when you look at Jordan's low lights compared to LeBron's low lights, it's not even close. LeBron has the far worse low lights. Whole series you disappear in your prime, bruh. Come on now, stop with the nonsense. But y'all want to bring up 1-9. Jordan wins the Defensive Player of the Year MVP. Had LeBron did these things, y'all would be kissing his booty. Y'all would be praising it up, pouring honey all over each other like Dreamers Pro say, all that other stuff. But that's not what happened. He didn't win the Defensive Player of the Year, and he cries about it to this day as if he deserved it. No, bruh, you didn't win it. I don't give a dang if Paul Gasol was on the second defensive team. It's two different people that vote for it, which is dumb. But hey, it is what it is. But he was a far superior defensive player. I would never confuse LeBron with being the greatest defensive player in NBA history, or one of. Especially since the dude ain't played defense in ages. And no, that is not because he's old. It's because he's never really been that great at defense. Because if it's in you, you're going to do it. Kobe on bad knees was still playing defense. Jordan in his when he was old, still playing defense. There's a lot of guys that are old that still played. Defense is about effort. Rebounds, effort. All these things are efforts. And LeBron just doesn't put together effort. For somebody that spends $1 million on his body, his conditioning is piss poor. And don't tell me, well, he picks his moments. Okay, so why he didn't pick his moments in the playoffs? When is his moment? Because it never seems to come. So these are the things I have to say. Scottie Pippen is great. But stop with the nonsense. Stop with the nonsense. Somebody had the audacity to say Scottie was the best player in the 90s. Child, please. He's not better than Hakeem. He's not better than Barkley. There's a lot of players. He's not better than Karl Malone. There's other guys in the 90s that we know are better than Scottie Pippen. Stop with the nonsense. You guys will say anything. And you sound ridiculous. You shouldn't be talking basketball. I really don't take it serious, but I thought I should address this. Because there are idiots out there that believe it, and there's casual fans that sit there and just take anything that they hear and run with it. So I'm setting the record straight for those that are passionate about basketball. Go watch Jordan in the 91 playoffs. Watch him in the 92 playoffs. Watch him in the 93 finals. Watch him in the 96 finals, 97 finals, 98 finals, and tell me. Go watch some of his regular season games and tell me. There's a reason why he's considered the greatest, or one of the all-time greats. Why he's in the top 10 easily, top 5 easily. Even on his haters list. Even a Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp have enough sense to know that he's at the top of the list. There's a reason why your king says he was chasing the ghost in Chicago. Not because he's some garbage dude that needed Scottie Pippen to come rescue him. It's because he set the blueprint. He changed the dynamic of the game that you don't need a big man to win. And it's not like it's that duplicatable, because it's not a lot of players that can say they've done that. It's him. It's Kobe. Everybody else is 6'9" big dudes. That was the logic before Jordan. You needed a Kareem. You needed a Wilt. You needed a Magic who's 6'9". You needed a Bird who's 6'10". You needed somebody. You needed a Shaq. You needed a Tim Duncan. When you look at all, you needed a Nikola Jokic. You needed a Giannis. Look at all the guys. You needed a Jason Tatum who's 6'8". You needed somebody big and tall. All the guys that's been winning championships have been huge. Even Kevin Durant, huge. It's only a few guys. Steph Curry is another one. So let's look. Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Jordan. And Jordan did it 6 times. Curry, 2 of his championships, he still had a guy that's 7 feet tall. Come on, y'all. Stop with this nonsense. Stop with the nonsense. But this video's gotten long. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section. I'm just here to dispel the lies and the myths. It ain't necessarily just a LeBron James video. This is for basketball history. This is for basketball history. Stop looking at 6-0 is just nothing. It's just something to sneeze at. 6-0, that's not that impressive at all. Anybody can win 6 championships. Anybody can 3-peat twice. Okay, then why ain't other guys doing it? Don't y'all guys say that? Why ain't nobody else going to 8 straight finals? I thought the East was weak. The East didn't have nearly the competition it has now. LeBron is not beating that Celtics team. Not even in his prime. Is he beating this current? I'm talking about the Celtics team now with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Not without no superstar help. Stop the nonsense. Stop acting like LeBron's just this dominant player that was beating teams he shouldn't have been beating single-handedly. He couldn't beat the old Celtics without Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Now he got the check, and he still struggled. He struggled to beat Paul George, who's not even a top 75 player. He struggled to beat that team. He lost to an old Dallas Mavericks team. This is all I got to say. Like, come on, y'all. Stop with the nonsense. You sound ridiculous. Because the moment you bring up 1 and 9, we coming to cook y'all. We're cooking y'all every time. Play this video for them. Play this video for them. So they can see how stupid they sound. Like, dude, you've already been debunked. Just like the whole left hand thing. I debunked that. You guys sound ridiculous. You guys sound ridiculous. That's the only thing you can think of. Bill Russell has 11 championships. Yeah, he played for 10 of those, he played under a red Arbok. Yet no one's going to knock him for that because that's stupid. Magic Johnson went to 9 finals. He has four of those championships he won was with Pat Riley as his coach. We don't knock him for that. All 5 of Tim Duncan's championships came with Greg Popovich. We don't knock him for that. All 4 of Steph Curry's championships came with Steve Kerr. We're not knocking him for that. And LeBron has had more than enough opportunities to be in a system and stay somewhere and take his butt down and somewhere and sit down, and he chose not to. So his legacy being what it is, us being able to talk about his 4-6 record is on him. It's his own fault. You created these situations. You could have kept your coach. You could have fought for your coach. Jordan did. He threatened to retire. You had more power than Jordan, so you could have kept any of those coaches, Ty Lue or any of them guys that you wanted to. You could have stayed with Eric Spoelstra. You chose to leave. And don't act like Pat Riley didn't get rid of Dwayne Wade, because he did. And he would have got rid of him for you. He would have built around you. So stop the nonsense. Like you didn't have a front office and a coach that could have helped your legacy. You made these decisions. And you got to live with it. Fanboys, you too. When LeBron retires, he's not going to retire as the greatest player to ever play the game. Y'all can break up the 40,000 points all you want. That ain't mean squat for John Stockton's status. It did not raise him above Magic Johnson because he played more years. He had the longevity. He has the longevity argument over Magic Johnson. By far, he has the longevity argument over Magic Johnson. He has the all-time assist record and all-time steals. All time. And we still don't put him over Magic. So that LeBron leading those categories does not make him the far superior player. That never has mattered, and it never will. I hate to break it to you. Anyway, y'all, tell me your thoughts in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and if you really enjoy my content, share it. And thank you all that have subscribed to my channel already. Y'all take care.